Hello everyone, my name is Hector Fitzpatrick. Before you see this video on Bodmin Town, I would like to tell you why I produced it. I have lived in Bodmin all my life and I retired 2.5 years ago. Over the years I've collected hundreds and hundreds of old photographs and picture postcards on Bodmin Town, and I thought it would be nice to see them on the television. There are 3 reasons why I produced this video. Firstly, as you probably all know, old photographs are easily lost or misplaced, and old picture postcards are easily damaged. To prevent this happening, I put them on the video. Secondly, I hope it will bring back many old and wonderful memories to the senior citizens of Bodmin Town. And thirdly, I hope it will help the younger generation of the town to understand and appreciate some of those wonderful things that happened in Bodmin all those years ago. I know I've made some minor mistakes in dates and place names, but as you know, it is not the history of Bodmin, but it will, I hope, bring back wonderful old memories to the people of Bodmin Town. And as this is the first time I have done anything like this, I'm sure you will all forgive me for a few minor mistakes. Thank you for listening to me, and now on with the video. Now this is the first picture on Bodmin Town down memory lane, and this is an absolute beautiful picture, and it is a museum piece, and it is by kind permission of Mr. Ken Jago. Now you can see in the picture the famous cannons on the Mount Folly is in the middle of the Mount Folly now, and not back by the size court. This, as we knew it in our day, was Marshall's gentleman's outfitter's shop and ladies' clothes shop and a drapery shop. Today it is the premises of the ETS, Electric Company. This building here, that was where our old cinema was, the Palace Theatre. Today it is the Black Horse Estate Agents. This building here, in our days, it was a chemist shop. Sidney M. Northey was the gentleman that had the chemist shop there. Today it is Bunt's Paper Shop. And of course, when this picture was taken, this building here was the London Inn. It was a public house back in those days. It's a gorgeous old picture of the town. You can see the turret clock there, and you can see coming up around the Mount Folly, there's no shrubs or anything planted there. It's just a long rails that goes up across there just to save anyone from falling over the top. But that's a gorgeous old picture to start the video off with. Now this is a gorgeous old picture, and this is just on the outskirts of Bodmin, a little place called Clerkenwell Water. And this is the first steam laundry that came to Cornwall. There's another little cottage, farm cottage up there. There's 1 or 2 people walking along the road there. There's not much more I can tell you about the picture, except that the laundry closed in the late 1930s. Now this is another super little picture. And this picture, as you can see, it's Cornwall Cross. Now Cornwall Cross was a small hamlet just on the outskirts of Bodmin. You can see there's one or two little houses there in the picture, and it was also the boundary line between Bodmin and Lanhydrock. Now this little hamlet was pulled down to make the Cornwall roundabout to give easy access to the Bodmin bypass. The cross itself today is situated somewhere on the roundabout. Now this is another very old picture, and this is the bottom of the town, of course. This coming up here is Rhine Street. Going back up there is Rhine Street, and coming along here is what we knew in our days as Poole Street, but it is Denison Road today. That's Berry House just there, and of course Berry House used to be in Poole Street, but of course it's on the Ring Road now, or the Denison Road. This was Mrs. Cox's dairy, and just in the picture here you can just see that's the bottom of Cornwall Street. So just around about there would be the Hole in the Wall public house. Now we'll bring this picture down a little bit and bring it in a little bit more if we can, because there's a couple of little things I would like to point out to you at the top of the picture. I don't know if we can bring it in very far, but we'll try. There we are, that's as far as I can bring it in. Now this building here, that's the old workhouse, and the workhouse is at the top of the Rhine Street and Castle Hill, which Castle Hill goes up there, Rhine Street goes up there. The old workhouse was right in between the two streets. These cottages back here, this row of cottages, that's where the staff lived that worked in the old workhouse. Now we'll come along with this picture and we can see a little more over this side. Coming up here now, we're coming up Castle Hill. That's Miss Mudge's house in Castle Hill, that's Tower House. That's one of the oldest houses, or one of the oldest buildings in Bodmin. Part of that house was built in the 12th century. Now we'll come along a little further with this one. Now coming into the picture at the bottom right hand corner, that's the old St. Petrock's Church, which is a gorgeous picture of the church, isn't it? Now we're looking back up across Pound Lane, and that building up there, that's where the old Chief Constable of Cornwall used to live. Major Hares, he was called back in the days when I was a youngster. And just in here there's been a place built there that's called Elizabeth Berkeley Home. Of course it's not built there yet, but in my day it was a girls' remand home, and I worked for a shoe shop in the town as an errand boy, and I used to have to deliver clogs up there to those girls that worked in the Elizabeth Berkeley Home laundry, and I used to have to deliver those clogs once a fortnight. Now what you're looking at now is a picture of the Victoria Barracks, Bodmin, and this picture goes back to 1904. In the picture there, that's the keep of the barracks, and of course this is the barracks square coming up here. I think this building just coming into the picture there, I think that's the old railway station, I'm not quite sure. There's one other building just there, that's Cold Harbour Farm. Now we can come along with the picture and we can see a little more over as we come along with the barracks square. No, it doesn't want to move very much today somehow. There we are, we're coming across now, we can see the barracks square, and coming into the picture, that building there, that was the commanding officer's quarters. That was the officer's mess, and the next building in the picture back there, that was the old army hospital. Now you can also see coming into the picture the barrack blocks down here, that's where the troops were billeted, and in front of the barrack blocks it was the sergeant's mess, and the married quarters. I don't think there's much more we can come across there and see, but we can come down here on the picture. This is the old Arley Road going back here. That's the railway bridge just across there where the train came up there and coming into Bodmin station. This is the old Arley School. You can see a very high wall going around the barracks there. Well, of course you couldn't see that today because Plasnude House is built there, the Terrace of Plasnude. Of course it wasn't built when this picture was taken. This long roof there, that was the 2-2 shooting range, and then in later years they built that up and made it into the barracks gymnasium. I thought that was a nice picture to put on there. Now this is a gorgeous old picture of a beautiful spot in Bodmin that no longer exists. They had to do away with this particular road and straighten it up because there were some terrible S-bends going up there. And this is going up Brewery Road. And just in here, on the right hand side of the picture, that would be where the old police station was. And in behind this lot of trees here today would be Athelston House Old People's Home. Now this picture was taken in 1944. Now you've also got a little bonus on this one today, I think, because I think you can hear the beautiful church bells from the Bodmin St. Petrock's Church. Now if you can hear those bells, it's absolutely beautiful. There's a beautiful old street light up there, look. That's one of my favourite subjects, those lights, as you will learn as the video goes on. But what a beautiful avenue of trees, isn't it? This old Brewery Road was a beautiful road. Now this is still Brewery Road, but you can see all those gorgeous trees down there. They're beautiful, aren't they? And this is further up, of course. This is almost up to the junction where you go up to Barn Park and on to Bodmin Road. Now in the picture you can see a gateway there, and that leads up to the British Legion Club. In behind these trees just about here would be Bodmin Football Club and Bodmin Football Pitch. And of course a little further down would be the Priory Park. Now once again you can still hear those gorgeous bells, I think. They're beautiful, aren't they? And that's a real bonus on the video for you. Now this is a super old picture as well. Now this picture was taken from the top of Prison Hill, and as we go along in a minute we'll be able to see just a little bit of the top of the prison coming into the picture. But if you look back here now on the top right hand corner of the screen, you can see the monument up on the beacon. Now that'll give you your bearings there a little bit. Now this building just there, that's the old Town Wall Chapel, which that chapel is still standing there today. These houses here were pulled down to widen that corner when they put Denison Road up through. Now down here in the picture, this plot of ground down here was eventually bought by the BP Petrol Company, and they had a petrol depot there for many years. Of course there's a big supermarket down there today. I think it's Gateways. Now we can look back up here in the picture and we can see just going up, where are we? I don't seem to be coming in the picture there with the pointer. Why is that? Oh, I'm too far over. There we are. That terrace of houses going up there, that's Robarts Road, and that's the old Church of England school, which today that's Bedickaser Old People's Retirement Flats. And up the top, just up there, that's the old board school. Now we can come along with this one a little further, and we can see coming into the picture now, this is the old Bodmin Mortuary, just there. And of course now we can see just the top of the old prison coming into the picture. Now we're coming across to Downing Street, Downing Square and Downing Gardens. Of course today there's a terrace of houses going all the way up there, and that's Berwick View. But of course they weren't built when this picture was taken. So this is a very old picture, and it's not what I call a first-class quality picture, but it's I thought it's well worth putting on the video. There's quite a few things I could point out there to you, and to see all that open space in the middle of the town, which no longer exists. There's some beautiful allotments just there, look, and there, that long roof, that's the chapel back in 4th Street, and that was Lady Huntington's chapel. That was a private chapel, of course. Now, I think that's a gorgeous old picture. Now, this is the building of the monument on Bodmin Beacon. The monument was built in 1856, 1857. What a terrific amount of scaffolding going up there, isn't it? And you can see the platform right on the top. That's a gorgeous picture. It's a beautiful old picture, and once again it's by kind permission of Mr. Ken Jago. Now, this is the monument once again on Bodmin Beacon, and of course the monument was built as a memorial to Lieutenant General Sir Walter Raleigh Gilbert, and it was repaired in 1904, and you can see the steeplejacks at the top of the monument there, checking to see the damage, and you can also see the ladder going back up there, and the monument itself stands 144 feet high. Now, I think this is a super picture of the old Bodmin Asylum. These gardens just across the front of the picture there, that's the gardens that belongs to the Roman Catholic Abbey at the top end of the town. And these buildings just in here, that's Westheath House, that's an annex to St. Lawrence Hospital. Now, you can come across the road and we've got the main entrance to the hospital there. You've got an old white telephone box there, look, the old white telephone kiosk. Now, this is the lodge, and this is where the staff had to go in when they went into work to draw their keys for whichever ward they were working on or whichever area they were going to be working in. And then, of course, when they came out at night, they had to go in there and hand their keys back in again. Now, what you're looking at here now, this is the famous radial building, and this building has got the 6 wings that protrude out from the middle. This building is standing there today, but all the inside of the building has been gutted out. This building back here was known as the High Building because it was 3 stories high. Now, we can come up a little bit with this one, I think, and we can see a little more at the top. Now, coming into the picture there now, that's William's house. That's still standing there today, but all these beautiful glass canopies over the front, all that's been pulled away. This is the old laundry stack, and of course this picture is prior to 1960, and the old laundry then was at the top end of the hospital and not down the bottom where it is today. Now we can come along and we can see a little bit more. I think we can just about see a little bit of Harrison Clinic in here on the top left hand corner, and that's the Bodmin to Weybridge Road going down there. Of course, most of these buildings down here has all been pulled down today. Now, Harrison Clinic there, during the war years, that was used as a military convalescent hospital, and of course the troops that had been wounded in France and on other various campaigns, they came back to Harrison Clinic for convalescent, and they were issued with a very light blue uniform. So when they came down the town, everyone knew that they had been wounded and sent back from the battlefront. Now, St. Lawrence Hospital in its heyday had about 1,200 patients and about 900 staff, and it was very nearly self-supporting. It had quite a number of large farms, a beautiful large herd of cattle, a massive piggery, and of course they produced most of their own vegetables and things like that. The patients there were very well looked after, they were treated well, and that's about all I can say about that part of the picture for you. But that's a gorgeous old picture of St. Lawrence Hospital. Of course, after the war years, the name was changed from the Bodmin Asylum to St. Lawrence Hospital. Now this is still inside the St. Lawrence Hospital, and this is the Great Foster Complex. Now the Foster area was completed in 1906, and it was the biggest hospital project ever undertaken in Cornwall, and it cost £95,380, and I think it's a gorgeous picture of old Foster area. This building here with the long roof, that was the famous, or still is the famous Foster Hall, but it's closed today. There were all sorts of functions that were put on in there to entertain the patients, such as pantomimes and concerts, and they had their own cinema in there. And of course, during the war years and after the war years, it's where we used to hold all our local weekend dances, and also such things as the Hunt Ball and the Police Ball. They were all held in the Foster Hall. Now we've had one or two famous bands in there over the years, and one in particular was Humphrey Littleton. And of course, one of the best known local bands was the Duke of Cornwall's Light Infantry Red Feathers dance band, and they were a fantastic band. Now today, this is the main administration block here today, because the main entrance is down coming in through Boundary Road. Now we can come along with this one. I don't think we can see very much more, but we might just see a little more of the hospital. Of course, these lawns that you can see there, those lawns before the war years had very high fences all the way around them, each individual lawn, and that was the lawns where the patients used to come out for recreation. But they were not allowed to mix. One ward was not allowed to mix with the other wards. They were all kept separate. Now that's as far as we can come across with it. We might be able to come down and see a little more of the back part of the hospital, or even maybe a little bit of the town in the background. I don't know. No, I don't think we can see very much at all. It's because it's a very small picture, but I thought it was certainly well worth putting on the video and just having a quick look at that picture. Now this is another super picture, and this is at the top of the hospital. This, on the right hand side of the picture, you can just see the beginning of the building that was known as the lodge. That's where you booked in when you went in there to work, or when you went in there to see any patients or anything. You had to go into the lodge and tell them where you were going and why you were going in there. This is Townsend House back here in the distance. There's someone standing up there just in front of Townsend House. Now we can come along, we can see this beautiful shrubbery border there, look. And now I think we can just about see a part of the old administration area which was in there. And of course, right up until after the war years, or after the National Health was formed, that building there, that was the headquarters of the Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Health Authority, right up until it moved down to St. Clement Vane in Truro. Now this is another gorgeous picture, and this is of the old Bodmin Asylum Church, which speaks for itself. The name is just there. This is a beautiful church. You can't see very much of it from the road today because there's a lot of beautiful shrubs growing up all along that front there, along those railings, rhododendrons and all sorts of things. So it's beautiful shrubbery there, but you can't see the lovely church so clear. This picture was taken back at the turn of the century. Of course, there's three young people here. Look at this little girl. Look at the way she's dressed. Isn't that magnificent? That beautiful little dress she's wearing. And of course she's wearing a beautiful little bonnet as well, look. Now we can come along and see a little bit more of the church, I think. That's a gorgeous church. Of course today it's not used quite so much by the St. Lawrence Hospital patients. It's used quite a lot by the general public. And let's hope that we can keep it open for many, many years. There are talks of closing it, but we sincerely hope that it won't happen, and we shall fight it tooth and nail. Now this is another super picture of the top end of the town, and once again this was taken back at the turn of the century. Now you can see these beautiful railings down there now. That's where the St. Lawrence church is in behind there. You can just see a part of the church there. But you can see what I was saying about the shrubs growing up there and the trees. They've started to grow there now, but now of course they are very, very thick and you can't see the church very much. I don't think you can see much of the railings there now either. Now there's quite a few people here in the picture. We can come along a little bit. There's a beautiful little dog there, look. Of course it's still old dirt roads. Now we can come along a little further and we can see over this side of the picture, on the right hand side, just coming into the picture, that's the old Catholic school. Now there's quite a few people there, and they're all posing for the picture. Just down here today, in there, that will be Gerald Thomas's Chapel of Rest. And now we start our trip right down through the main street of Bodmin, right down through the town. You can still see back in the distance here the old entrance to the St. Lawrence Hospital, and that's where the church is, in behind those trees there. There's quite a few people here in the picture. That's the famous Asylum clock. The Asylum clock was built as a memorial to all the members of staff from St. Lawrence Hospital who lost their life in the 1914-18 war. Now we can come along a little with this one and we can see that high wall that's going down there. Now I think that wall is still that height down there today. I'm not quite sure, but it was a very high wall that surrounded the hospital back in the days when this picture was taken. Now this is the junction road going on down to Weybridge. There's a car turned off to go down to Weybridge there, and there's another car there coming down to Bodmin. There's a roundabout there today, or several mini roundabouts there today, and it causes quite a lot of confusion. Now this is a terrific old picture, and of course this is Higher Boar Street. This is probably where Town End Post Office is, just about there today. Now the street was being decorated with conifers and flags. They were preparing for a visit by the Duke of Cornwall, later the Duke of Windsor, to unveil the bronze soldier at the Victoria Barracks as a war memorial to all those members of the Duke of Cornwall's light infantry who lost their life in the 1914-18 war. Now look at some of these characters in the picture, and of course they're all posing for the picture, aren't they? But look at the expression on their faces. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That's fantastic. And you can see they're all brooming up, look, brooming the streets. You can guess what they were brooming up there. I won't mention it, but it was mostly horse-drawn vehicles back in this day and age, so you can guess what they were doing. Now we can come along with the picture a little bit. Now you can see all those fir trees going down the street and the flags, and look at that gorgeous light there, look. Isn't that a beautiful light? Now this side of the town there, going down on this side of the street, hasn't altered very much in all those years. It's very nearly the same there today. But what a gorgeous picture, isn't it? Now this is still Higher Boar Street, and this is very nearly the same position as the other picture was taken from. Of course all these buildings here were pulled down at the turn of the century, so it's an old picture, and today there you would have been looking at Kinsman's Garage, but Kinsman's Garage I believe is gone today. That building that you can see, well, we'll come into the picture a little more. Now you can see the side of that building there with that chimney there. That's the side of the Garden Docks Public House. And of course that's the same today. But look at this beautiful old cart here, look. Isn't it super? And look at the people there standing up. And they're all posing for the picture. I think this one here is even waving to the camera, look. That's a gorgeous picture, isn't it? I think we can come along and see just a little more of the picture, not a lot. Of course, all these cottages here were pulled down as well. Down in there today is where the post office engineers keep their van and all their equipment, all their tools. It's a gorgeous picture though, isn't it? Now there you are, that's the old town end post office there. Now we can come along and we can see what was Kinsman's garage in there. You can look right down to town wall, all the way down to town wall. Look, there's the town wall just there. Really, you can look right down to the Free Library. Isn't that a gorgeous picture? Now we can come along with the picture, we can see there's 1, 2, 3 vintage cars there in the picture. Worth a fortune if you had those today. And there's quite a few people there in the picture. I think they're all posing for the picture. They all seem to be looking at the camera. That's a beautiful picture. That one isn't all that old. That one's back in the middle 20s. Now this is another super picture of Higher Boar Street, or coming down into Lower Boar Street. Really this is, because it's almost opposite the town wall. You can see that sign there, look. That's the Mason's Arms public house. Of course, back in the days when this picture was taken, it was just a beer house. They didn't have a license to sell spirits. Now we can come along and we can certainly see that everyone is posing for the picture, even little Granny in the doorway, look. And look at the way she's dressed, isn't that gorgeous? And those beautiful cottages, of course, they're all pulled down today. Well, these cottages were pulled down to build the St. John's ambulance station, which that itself is being pulled down now to widen the corner. But it's a gorgeous picture of the old town. Now this is another super old picture. These cottages here, you're looking up Boar Lane here, looking up towards the town wall. These cottages are the ones that you saw, the fronts of those cottages in the last picture, and that's the cottages that were pulled down to build the St. John's ambulance station. Now we can come along with this one a little bit, and we can see the town wall there. And of course, in later years, the town wall was cut in half, and half of it was pushed back about 50 or 60 feet to widen that corner when they built Denison Road up through there. This, in my day, was known as Back Lane or Bernard's Lane, but when this picture was taken, of course, it was known as Boar Lane. Now we can come along and see a little bit the other side, but not very much. There we are, as far as we can see. These railings that you can just see there in the picture, that's the railings of the old Methodist chapel on town wall. Now this is that terrace of houses again, looking down Boar Lane this time, and looking right on down Cornwall Road. If you could see in behind these houses, you would be able to see a part of the old prison down there in the distance. But you can see there's 1 or 2 people here in the picture, and they're certainly all posing for the camera. But you can see they were dilapidated old cottages and they had to be pulled down. Now we can come across a little with this one, and we can see a young boy there looking around the corner. I think he's hiding away from someone, and he's just peeking to see if they're coming up around the road. Isn't that a gorgeous picture? And that's a real old one again as well. Sorry about that. I knocked the camera a little bit there. Now this is the St. John's ambulance station. That's the ambulance station that was built where all those cottages were pulled down in the last 2 pictures. Now you can see there the town wall chapel still just there. They started to pull a cottage down there to make a wider to widen the road coming up around that corner. Now we can come in across and we can see this gorgeous cottage there. Look, isn't that a beautiful cottage? What a shame it had to be pulled down. It had to be pulled down, of course, because they had to widen that corner for all the heavy lorries and the increased volume of traffic that we had to prepare for after the war years. But it's a gorgeous old cottage, and I think it's a terrible shame it had to be pulled down. Look at the roof, it's absolutely dead straight. It was a gorgeous place. Now this is the opening of the Bodmin Cooperative Society in Bodmin, and the opening ceremony took place in 1902. Now this is at the top of what we know today as Finvee C Estate, but of course back in the days when this picture was taken, it was Downing Street. Now we can come along with this one. Look at that beautiful light there in the picture, isn't that gorgeous? And look at some of these gorgeous bonnets that the ladies are wearing. That's a super picture. That's as far as we can come across with it. That's a super picture, isn't it? Now this is Bodmin Co-op again, only of course this is a much later picture. This picture was taken in the late 20s, early 30s. We haven't got the exact date, but that's around about the time when it was taken. Look at the way they're dressed to serve you. Look at these beautiful long white aprons, and they've all got collars and ties on, look, and this one gentleman back here has got a bow tie, look. Isn't that gorgeous? Now we'll come along with the picture. We might be able to see a little more on this one. I don't think there's much more to show you on this picture. There, that's as far down as we can come with it. But look at that lamp hanging up there. That's an old Tilly lamp. Now an old Tilly lamp was worked with paraffin and a wick, and of course you lit the wick and then you had a lovely little light from the old Tilly lamp. Now we can come back with this one a little bit and we'll bring the picture in, because some of you looking at the picture might be able to recognize some of these gentlemen and some of these gorgeous young ladies there in the picture. I don't know any of them, but you might be able to recognize some of them, so we'll come in as far as we can. I think that's as far as we can come in, and we'll come back a little with it now. There we are. If anyone can recognize someone there, it would be nice. Now this is a super old picture again, and it's in good quality picture as well, because it must have been well looked after. The color's gone off it a bit, the whiteness has gone out of it, it's going brown, but it's a beautiful old picture. Now we can come along there and you can see two little boys there looking in the shop window, and of course the other one there, look, it's posing for the camera. But we can come along. Now I don't know whether we can make the name out over that shop or not. We'll see if we can bring it in a little closer directly and just see if we can pick out that name up over the shop. But if you were looking at this particular site today, you would be looking at the Free Library. This is the building that was there before the Free Library was built. It's a gorgeous old picture, isn't it? I don't think we can come in far enough to pick out the name on that up over that shop. I don't know. No, it's going to go blurred. No, I can't make that out myself. But it's a gorgeous old picture, and I thought it was worth putting on there to have a look at it. Once again, it's a museum piece, this picture, and it's by kind permission of Mr. Ken Jago. Now this is the opening ceremony of the Free Library, and the Free Library was opened in 1895, so that'll give you an idea of the age of the previous picture. Now you can see here, look at these gorgeous bonnets these ladies are wearing. Look, aren't they beautiful? And there's a little girl back there, look, her father's holding her up and she's got a fantastic bonnet on. And these down here, look, beautiful, isn't it? And of course back on the stage where everything's happening with the Free Library, look at the beautiful top hats. This must be the mayor and the corporation and all the dignitary of the town. Now we'll come along and see this side of the picture. We can't see much of it, but we can see a bit. But look at the beautiful top hats again, and that gentleman there with that fabulous beard. Isn't that gorgeous? Now there's something unusual about this picture, because the opening of this Free Library ceremony, everything that's to do with the opening ceremony is taking place back up there. And yet everyone in the picture is facing the opposite way. Are they all posing for the picture? I don't know. I think that's a mystery we shall never solve. But I know they were all very, very keen on having their photographs taken back in the days when this picture was taken, so they might have all been posing for the picture. Now once again, this is a beautiful picture of the old Free Library, and you can see there's an old pump there, look, an old water pump. And look at that gorgeous light just there. And of course this is the stonemason's yard, which was just at the bottom of Robarts Road, and you can see they've got some of their craftsmanship on display there. Now we can come along with this one a little further, and there they are again, look, and they're all posing for the picture. Now as we come down the next house down, look, that's a dwelling house. Back in my days that was Willis's garage down there. Now we can come along now and look down, we can see the Barley Sheaf Hotel, and into the picture there, that's Lady Huntington's Chapel. Isn't that a gorgeous old picture of Bodmin Main Street? And the old Free Library and coming down there, it's absolutely beautiful. And look at those people coming up the street. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. What a beautiful picture. I think we'll come back and look at that pump again in a moment, because a lot of people have told me that there was never a pump there, but it's certainly there, look. There it is, that gorgeous old town pump, water pump. So there must have been a well down there back in the days when this picture was taken. I don't think we can bring it in any further. We might just get a little... No, it's not going to. It's not going to focus on it. So we'll just... There we are. That's as close as I can bring it in. But it's gorgeous, isn't it? What a beautiful picture. Now this is another super picture, and of course once again this is the Wesleyan's Chapel. Look at these three little boys here, look, sitting on the wall outside. And look at the way they're dressed, these beautiful white collars turned out over, look. And these two little girls, look at those magnificent dresses they're wearing, and the beautiful bonnets. Gorgeous, aren't they? And the lights, look at that beautiful light there on the top of the steps. There's one either side, aren't they gorgeous? Now there's another lady there, look, in the picture, and she's got a beautiful bonnet on as well. There's another gentleman back there, and look at the top of the building, look. Isn't that terrific? And of course there's no doubt that all those children and that, they're all posing for the picture, aren't they? But isn't that a beautiful picture? I think that's a gorgeous picture. And this is the Wesleyan Sunday School room and chapel rooms, Sunday School rooms and assembly rooms. That's a gorgeous picture. Now this is another super old picture. Of course it's a dilapidated old house, but it was a famous house years ago. This is the house where a famous Cornish author used to live, and that was Sir Arthur Quiller Couch. Now Sir Arthur was brought here to live by his parents just after his birth in 1863. In our days, or my days, the two gentlemen that lived in there were they were called Frankie Mitchell and his father, and they used to run the horse-drawn coaches from the railway stations to the two prominent hotels in the town, the Royal Hotel and the Town Arms Hotel. That's a gorgeous old picture though, really. These railings here were taken away in the 1939-1945 war for scrap metal. Now this picture was taken from the entrance of Chapel Lane, and the house itself was demolished in 1970. Now this is another super old picture. This is a gorgeous old picture. And this is the Red Lion Inn, which was in 4th Street, not far down from where Sir Arthur Quiller Cootes used to live, about 3 or 4 doors down from there. Now look at this gorgeous light here in the picture. Isn't that beautiful? What a beautiful light. Look at that fantastic scroll on that bracket. Beautiful, isn't it? And of course, look at them here in the picture. They're all posing for the picture. And look at the roof. It's all gone in there, look. And of course, this building was pulled down in 1896. But isn't it a gorgeous picture? Now this is a beautiful picture. It's a little further down the main street, and this is Lady Huntington's Chapel. That's the private chapel in the front street. Look at that fantastic light there. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, it's a beautiful light. And there's 1 or 2 youngsters here in the picture, look. Look at the hats they're wearing. And we can come along with this one a little bit. And there's someone else pushing a bicycle up the street. And of course, what are they doing? They're all posing for the picture. Even this gentleman back here, look. He's stopped and looking up at the camera. Fantastic, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. Now we can come along a little further with this one. And we can just see the side of the house where Frankie Mitchell and his father used to live. And that's the opening that they used to go up through up to the back to keep their horse-drawn buses up there and stable their horses. Now you've got 2 beautiful bay windows here on this picture, and those 2 shops were all owned by the same gentleman, and his name was Giles Wright. He had a bicycle repair shop there and a little sweet shop there. Isn't that a gorgeous picture? And you can see all these fantastic bay windows as you look down the street, look. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. I've got so many wonderful old pictures of Bodmin that I get carried away when I start looking at them. They're so fascinating. I could look at them forevermore, and every time you look at one you find something different on there. So I hope it doesn't bore you people too much. Now we're gradually progressing down the town. This little shop here was a little bookshop. It was Miss Spear's bookshop, and just here is the entrance to Market Street. Now you've got 2 gentlemen farmers there. Looks as though they are discussing their business at the market, whether they've made a fair profit or not. But look at this little young lady here, look at that beautiful bonnet she's wearing. Isn't that gorgeous? Now we'll come along with this one a little bit. Before we go, there's that fantastic light there, look. Isn't that beautiful? And once again we can look right down to the turret clock. But there's no doubt that they're all posing for the picture. Look at that street light coming across there. Isn't that beautiful? Now coming into the picture now, that's Devon and Cornwall Bank there. That's a solicitor's office today, and that was Lloyd's Bank, or is Lloyd's Bank, but I don't know what it was back in the days when this picture was taken. But you can see there's marvellous pillars outside that building. Aren't they gorgeous? What a fabulous old picture that is. Now this is another large store that came to Bodmin many years ago. This store, which as you can see up over its star, Supply Stores. Now this shop was opened in 1903, we think. It's a gorgeous picture, isn't it? And look at the way they're dressed to serve you in that shop again. Those beautiful long aprons. Look at the dicky bow ties on. They're all wearing collars and ties. Now we'll come along with this one a little bit, and we can see a little more of the picture. And there's something else I want to point out to you as we get across here in a moment. We'll bring the picture in a little more, and then we'll come across a little more. Now there you are. Now up over the top on the right hand corner of the screen, look, you can see entrance to the music studio. Now Bodmin had a music studio all those years ago, and in our next picture we will see the inside of that music studio. Now that's the inside of that little music studio. I don't know that I would have liked to sat on these hard chairs for very long. That's where the band used to sit, and over across there is the piano. There's the lighting in the little old music studio, and you can see it must have been poorly lit because there's only just 3 little gas lights there. But what a gorgeous picture, isn't it? And it's lovely to think that Bodmin had that sort of entertainment all those years ago. We'll look across and see if there's anything else we can see. I don't think there is. No, that's all we can see. Now this picture isn't quite so old, but I put it on for a couple of particular reasons. One, I would like to point out to you just here, that was the side of the showroom of the Cornwall Electric Company, and they had a fantastic big mirror there, massive great mirror. Beautiful it was. And the next thing that I wanted to point out to you was the street light. Now the street lighting in Bodmin back in those days were suspended on wires from either side of the buildings. And then they were on right in the middle of the street. And that was the street lighting that we had in 4th Street back when this picture was taken. Now this is a super picture. I think this is a very busy picture. There's so much going on in this picture. Look at these 3 young ladies here, look. Look at the beautiful bonnets they're wearing. And of course there's no doubt, look, she's turned back to see the camera. She's certainly going to get her picture on the film. Now look at these beautiful bull's heads up the top of the market house. Now we can also look down and we can see coming into the pictures now this famous canopy, this glass canopy up over the Royal Hotel. And look at that fantastic light there again. Isn't that beautiful? And there's a super little pony and trap coming up there, look. That's absolutely terrific. Now we'll come across and see a little of the other side because there's so much happening over the other side of the picture. And of course I suppose the most important thing that's going on there, they're all posing for the picture, aren't they? Now coming into the shop, into the picture, there's this double shop here at Burton's, and that shop was owned by 2 brothers, Leslie Burton and Harold Burton. Leslie Burton had a gentleman's outfitter shop on that side, and the other brother had the tobacconist and barber shop in that side. Now, once again, you've got the old Devon and Cornwall Bank there, which as we know now is the solicitor's office, and this is Lloyd's Bank, but you can see those beautiful pillars there now that I mentioned in an earlier picture. I don't know what or who had those premises back when that picture was taken. I've tried to read the writing up over, but it's impossible. Now we'll come along again. Look at that bracket where they used to hang their lights on. Look at the scrolls in that. Isn't that fantastic? And these lights down here, they're beautiful, aren't they? Absolutely beautiful. These pictures are so fascinating. Now this is one of my favourite pictures of the front street. Look at these 2 little girls here, look. Aren't they dressed beautifully? Look at their little bonnets. Terrific, aren't they? There's 2 gentlemen there standing up, look, talking. This one looks as though he's wearing a uniform of some sort. It could be a postman's uniform. And look at that fantastic beard he's got. Isn't that beautiful? And these 2 ladies a little further down, look at their magnificent hats, bonnets. And the lights in the street, look, they're absolutely wonderful, aren't they? Beautiful. And there's a lovely little horse-drawn bus there, look. And of course even these 2 young ladies that were walking down the town, they had to turn and look back at the camera. Now we'll come across a little with this one. Try and come across a little as steady as we possibly can. That's a beautiful picture of the old Royal Hotel there coming into on the screen now. That beautiful glass canopy there. And of course that was Richards and Dyer's bakery shop there. Or back a little further, before Richards and Dyer's, it was oh, I can't think of the name now. I'll tell you later. I just can't think of the name now. But it's a beautiful picture, isn't it? And look at that beautiful light up over there, look. And all these people outside here, they're all posing for the picture. And of course in our days this was the Liberal Club, so maybe it's still the Liberal Club when this picture was taken, and they're all outside the Liberal Club. What a beautiful picture. Look at this little boy here sitting on the window ledge outside. I hope he doesn't slip and break that glass. And in our days that would have been Bricknell's shop just there. And the next one down, that one in behind the canopy there, that would have been the Bodmin Gas Consumers Company showrooms. Look at that beautiful light there. Isn't that beautiful? That's a super old picture of the town. Now you can see up over this building here now that's got the Devon and Cornwall Bank. You can't see the word bank, but you can see Devon and Cornwall there. Now we'll come along a little with this one, and then we will lower the picture a little. Look at this beautiful light up here, look. Isn't that fantastic? Now we'll lower the picture a little. There we are. Now we can look right down the street and we can see these lights now are coming into the picture. Aren't they beautiful? There's not a lot of people in the street at this particular time. We can come down a little further with this one because we can see now what a magnificent building that Royal Hotel was, look. Isn't that beautiful up there? And of course that famous canopy there once again, and you can look down and see the turret clock there. That beautiful little horse-drawn bus coming up the street, isn't it beautiful? And that beautiful light there again. Isn't that fantastic? The wrought iron in that and the craftsmanship to make a light like that, oh, it's absolutely wonderful. Now that's the old Town Arms hotel there, and coming into the picture now is the old market house. Now I think we can go back a little further with this one and we can see well, that's gone back out of the picture altogether. We'll bring the picture down a little. Now look at those fantastic bull's heads up over the market house, look. Aren't they terrific? They're beautiful. Now in this picture you've got just the side of the old market house, just there. Now that billboard or signboard there, that was advertising the films that were shown in the old cinema, because back when this picture was taken, the cinema in Bodmin was in the market house, and of course it was mostly silent pictures up there. Now we can go on down the street a little way, and once again that's the old Town Arms Hotel, and you can see there's a ladder going up there up to the Royal Hotel. Look, they're cleaning the windows. Isn't that gorgeous? What a beautiful